Yes, to land this Mr. Walter Gretzky. How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm still standing beside you.
Wow. Take two. I'll just go ahead and pinch me. Go on now. They're craft stay with 48-foot wooden schooners, the traditional kind.
Hey everybody, I'm Stephanie Beaumont. On this special edition of CNBC, we have landed Lakeside.
And while the great outdoors is truly beautiful, we plan to spend this show inside, getting this cottage ready for the perfect lakeside stay. We'll update dated furniture with a blend of old and new. We'll add a dash of color with some paint and fabrics too. Plus we'll show you some easy-to-make keepsake pillows and share some tips on simple touches to enhance any space. We've also been busy surveying our CNBC pals to let us know what they'd most like in a lakeside stay, so we'll be sharing those results and awarding this great lakeside-inspired gift package from Ocean View Garden Center to one lucky survey taker. And you better believe we'll get you in on the winning too with a one-of-a-kind TV Free Stuff prize. Now, if you're a regular viewer of CNBC TV, you might remember this cottage from our Christmas show. It belongs to my cousins Steve and Charlotte Noss and their two sons, Shane and Sean. And every year they host a holiday get-together so we can get our tree. It's also the place for our annual Pie-a-Palooza every October, and truth be told, it's a year-round spot for all sorts of our get-togethers. And as much as I love it here, I've always felt it deserved a little bit of a lift. Like many camps and cottages, it was furnished with handed-down, hand-me-down furniture. Unzipped sleeping bags served as bedding, and decor was pretty much out the window. So I convinced the Noss family to let me at their lakeside spot with the goal of sprucing up the space. They agreed to it under the following conditions. Number 1, it had to stay comfortable and durable. Number 2, it couldn't take long. And number 3, it couldn't cost more than $1,000.
With all that in mind and not much time, I say we best get to it.
We'll start by taking a look at the layout, and you'll see we've got 3 rooms to cover off. The main room, which includes the living, dining, and kitchen space, and 2 bedrooms. One we'll call the master for this show, and the second we'll call the boys' room. There's lots of windows to let in the light, and 2 doors, one at the side and one at the front that leads to the deck. In our Lakeside Stay survey, we asked, when it comes to the layout of your lakeside space, what would you consider ideal? Number 1, the whole space should be open concept with plenty of daybeds for lounging and sleeping. Number 2, one main room for living, kitchen, and dining with separate bedrooms. Number 3, one bedroom would be fine for myself and guests could sleep on the sofa in the main room. Or 4, total old school camp style with simple bunks for crashing in no matter who showed up. Well, number 2, one main space with separate bedrooms was the most popular choice by far, so we're right on track there. Now it's time to take a furniture inventory to see what stays and what's gotta go. One look at the main room, and the one thing you can't miss is that overstuffed pillow, sofa, and chair. Yes, it's comfortable, but it only seats 4, the style is dated, the fabric pattern fights with the flooring, and the size truly overwhelms the room. They'll both be going. The side and coffee tables are in fine shape, but the metal legs feel out of place and a little dark, so we'll be replacing those too. That chair belonged to Charlotte's grandmother. It stays, and rightly so. And so will the leafed dining table and chairs. The master bedroom is modest, to be sure. It's in desperate need of a headboard, so we'll find one and also a chair to replace that dated one. The boys' room has built-in bunks, twin up top and double below. Clearly that rocks, but the mirror and the computer desk both need to be replaced with styles better suited to our lakeside space. So that's a good bit of shopping for sure, and with the number 1 item on the Noss family wish list being more seating, we'll set out to find some deals. Now, truth be told, I found the ideal items at a number of stores, but returned to the place that had everything we needed on our list. More often than not, the more you buy, the better the deal. We planned to spend half our $1,000 budget on furniture, and so we did, at M.E. Countway & Sons at Robinson's Corner. For the boys boys' room, an old wooden dresser in need of a bit of paint but otherwise in perfect shape for our look. We found a great old red chair for the master bedroom and a king-sized headboard that'll do the trick. Just wait and see. Plus a pine frame sofa and love seat. The cushions are really comfortable, and while they don't match the decor, they're in great shape and we can easily cover them. Add to that a folding chair, a stool in need of repair, and some artwork beyond compare, and we did great at the barn. Our total with taxes and delivery, $508. Our Lakeside Stay survey asked how you would best describe the furnishings in your ideal lakeside space, given the following choices. Number 1, the latest styles in cabin decor with plenty of plaids and leather, the more woodsy the better. Number 2, English-style cottage vibe and vintage galore with fluffy sofas and chairs to curl up in. Number 3, an eclectic blend of new and old with metals and woods for a retro feel. Or number 4, furnishings. It's a camp. Bound furniture and cast-offs will do. It's what's outside that matters most. Well, once the votes were tallied, English cottage vibe was a close second, but number 3, the eclectic blend of new and old, got the majority of the votes with the CNB Scene survey crowd. Still ahead on CNB Scene, we'll get crafty with some personalized projects and give you a chance to win a one-of-a-kind piece of art. Our Lakeside Space makeover continues with a look at the Noss family wish list. Number 2 was a space that appealed to all members of the family, and that included our color scheme. Charlotte said she loved blues and yellows and would be happy with a splash of red or orange. Well, we found everything she loved and then some in this woven table runner, so that'll be our jumping off point. Man, we struck gold with the upholstery fabric. Clearance priced at 75% off in both tan and green. What a steal! And it matches our runner perfectly. Now, Charlotte wanted durable fabric that she could wash at the end of the season, so we bought extra and washed and dried our fabric on delicates before we cut and sewed to allow for any shrinkage. Now, let's be clear, with upholstery fabric, you're taking a chance when you're not dry cleaning as per the manufacturer's instructions. But it's for a camp. Time was of the essence. We had to take the risk, and we lucked out on all fronts. The perimeter walls are pine-clad and in lovely shape. Limited time and necessity precluded the painting of the interior walls, so instead we opted to use fabric and furniture to act as our color. We did, however, buy 3 small sample sizes of paint, also on sale, since we needed a little bit of color for some of our projects. For our blue accent, we chose Shipwreck by Bear Marquee. We went with a burnt orange, again from Bear, called Nouveau Copper, and we also picked up Bay Leaf from Martha Stewart's Living Collection, as it went perfectly with our green fabric. And amidst our endless pursuit for deals, we hit a thrift store and found this queen-size flat sheet for just $5. It'll act as our splash fabric, and we'll use it for our kitchen curtains and throw pillows. And speaking of pillows,
can I get an amen? I love this little shirt, and you know what? It gives me a great idea. There's so many of the Sidekick shirts that I loved, but she's just too big for them now, or maybe they've got a stain or whatever, but you really love them because they're shirts that your kids wear all the time, or maybe you've got concert t-shirts, or maybe even university t-shirts. Check this out. There's some Cape Breton business there. And what trip to Prince Edward Island would be complete without a visit to cows? But some of the fun ones, and it's memories really, and that's what you want to incorporate into your lakeside retreat, or any location for that matter. But what I thought would be really great is to make little throw pillows. So it's a super easy project. This is just a little pillow that I still have to finish. I'm just going to tack it here, and I'll show you how to cut it in just a bit. But this is going to go great in the boys' room. It's a pop of color, and it's a flashback to the olden days. So all you need to do, get a great cutting board for yourself, or a surface that you don't really care about, and you're going to make sure, here's one from a trip, but that you want to make sure that you catch all of your image. And most t-shirts have been screened square, believe it or not. So if you have a really great cutting board and a meter stick, you can follow the line to ensure that you've got pretty much a square. I mean, you know, these are going to be used as throw pillows and mostly conversation pieces, so they don't have to be perfect. You can even, once you've got them cut, if your kid knows how to sew, It's a great project for rainy days because they're just simple, straight stitched inside out. Look at me cutting on the diagonal like a maniac. But basically, I just want to have a little square-ish-ness. Is that right? All the sewers are crying out there. I just know it. But basically, you've got this, and then you're going to want to flip it inside out so that you've got this part down, and then this part you're going to flip. You're going to match up your corners. You pin it, and it's just straight line sewing. Given the fact that it's square, and I've used loose filling, again from really inexpensive pillows. I sewed all 3 sides and then most of the bottom, and then just left this little tiny bit to stuff. And here's an example of what it would look like. So you've got a little hole either at one corner, at one edge, and if you're not too particular, you could do that with your sewing machine like I did here. The way this is going to sit on the sofa, you really don't see that edge, or you could tuck it in like Martha would do and sew it by hand so that it looks really neat. But either way, you've got a great conversation piece, you've got a pop of color, and you've got something that ties in our theme. Sometimes things cost a lot of money, but we've been looking for deals on this show and we found a lot of them, and sometimes you get a break that you just can't believe, and it's really a lot about timing, especially when it comes to those stores that have a lot of odds and ends and estate sales and things like that. Well, we lucked out with this artwork. You know, it would have been a very expensive element at the camp to put really, really wonderful oil paintings, but we got these for such a deal. I don't even want to tell you how much, but I am going to give you a chance to win one in just a bit. But I'm going to tell you about them. They are oil paintings, and just have a look at that tree on the lake. Now have a look at this. I mean, it's serendipitous, right? We didn't want anything to look fancy at the lake, so I thought a really easy way to hang these without damaging the walls too, by the way, is just with a little bit of twine and using wonderful duct tape. It's super easy, and it's white, so even turning it around on the back. Very fortunate that all of these paintings, the artist, who's George Sandberg, wrote exactly where they were painted, so it's kind of cool. They're all locations all over Nova Scotia. So what I did was I made sure I cut my twine all the same length, and I doubled it up for 2 reasons. One, just for sort of you know, interest in hanging, but also for security and for stability. So I just made sure that I got the right length, and then all I did was cut as many of these as I needed as I had paintings. We did get a large one, and this will be going in the boys' room. It really ties in the comforter. That has just a more sturdy and more solid twine on it. So really all I did, and I'll just take one here that hasn't been done, I just laid it down, have my twine cut perfectly to all the other lengths. I say perfectly, but you know what I mean, in the right length. I just tear this off, which is awesome. You don't need to use scissors or anything. And you make sure that it's patted down securely.
Once you've got both sides of your twine securely pressed down with the duct tape, you can see it'll give you a simple and rustic hanging mechanism. We're just going to use a furniture tack to hang it to the wall. That'll continue the casual effect, but to ensure that the tape doesn't give way with the weight of the picture or excess summer heat, we've used a Velcro hanging strip behind for extra stability. The strips will be hidden by the painting, and we'll still have the rustic twine effect we were going for.
So have a look at that. Pretty dilapidated, right? That's one of those old calendar frames that is missing the calendar, and the board has slipped. So what I did was, in my mind, thought for $1.99, I can make a blackboard for their Lakeside spot, which I love. And it's super easy because you know what? I just took that centerpiece out. You can see it's missing. It came out very easily. It was just stapled in. This is just press board, but with a little bit of blackboard paint, which was literally $1.69. Trick to this, tip to this, make sure you put your first coat this way and your second coat this way, and you let a full hour go between your coats, and then you let it cure for 24 hours. If you don't, your chalk will stay on your board. Believe me, I know from past experience. But nonetheless, once I had this painted and it's dried and it's cured, I'm just gonna tack it back in where it should be, and we are gonna have a great chalkboard. Now, I know what you're saying. The boys are not gonna like that. And I get that. I've been listening, I promise. So what I thought I would do, if you remember our porch project from last year, I had a few butterflies left over, which actually match our decor, and I thought, they gotta give me that. We're in nature. So I'm gonna actually use a little bit of craft glue and strategically place those butterflies to cover up that heart and match our decor. Sometimes you'll find a piece and you won't really know when you're gonna use it, but you just love it. Case in point, this barn door. Now I know what you're saying, Stephanie, that looks old. Why would you ever keep it? To be perfectly honest, I don't know, but I loved the color and I loved how the paint had sort of peeled off and the hinges were rusty, but it's been in my basement for, honest to goodness, probably a decade. And I thought one day I'm gonna know what to do with it, and this lakeside spot has given me the perfect opportunity to incorporate it into our decor. So the colors work with our fabric, and the name, NOS, fits perfectly on the sign. I mean, who knew? So in any craft store, you can get these letters, and they're just sort of a plain wood, and they take craft paint super easy. So you really don't need a lot of paint, but you do need to do a few coats depending on what you want to do. You could certainly varnish them, but in this case, I've taken our copper color and I've painted NOS, and I'm gonna just put those on there. And here's another idea. Yes, they could be tacked. I'm gonna Velcro them, and it's super easy. It's very sturdy, and again, these letters are so light that they just peel right on the back, and you stick it on and put it on there.
Now, of course, position your letters evenly. By I'll do for this project, since we've got the hinges on either end, and we'll just space our 5 letters accordingly. Using Velcro or a high bonding glue will ensure a nail-free finish to our letters. I love how this is shaping up.
And this is gonna have a great spot in our main room.
It's time to take our first break on CNBC, but when we return, we'll put our great finds in place and spruce up the space. Plus, we'll have more results from our Lakeside Stay survey and give you a chance to win a one-of-a-kind TV Free Stuff prize. We'll be right back. Welcome back to this special Lakeside Stay edition of CNBC.
Let me just say first off, I love it here. When you walk into this place, the vibe is wonderful.
But I've always believed it could stand with a little sprucing up. So our plan was to change up the place without changing the spirit of the space.
I needed to make sure that it was still very functional, that it was still very comfortable, that it could be cleaned, and that it could be interchanged and updated and flexible, if you will, for guests, for romantic weekends, anything. You know, we really wanted to cover the bases. For the most part, though, it's meant to be lived in and loved.
When our Lakeside Stay survey of CNBC visitors and Facebook friends posed the question, what are you most likely to use your lakeside cottage for? Number 1, solitude, a place to get away from everything and everyone. Number 2, the all year round party spot. Number 3, a romantic retreat for 2. Or number 4, a gathering place for friends and family. Well, we saw our most divided results of the poll. And for a while, number 1, solitude was winning out. But in the end, number 4, a gathering place for friends and family, edged past ever so slightly. Well, our mission with this place is to deliver on all of those fronts, so we best get busy. Let's start with that old dresser for the boys' room. The drawer fronts were worn on the edges and left unpainted, and that's what appealed to me from the start. We removed the computer table and replaced it with the old dresser after having painted it in our shipwreck blue. The mirror above was one they'd had and never used, so we swapped it out for free, and it goes perfectly. Gone are those sleeping bags and weathered blankets, replaced with easy-to-wash, coordinating comforters in blues and greens. You can see now how our keepsake pillows coordinate and personalize the space, and we've continued that with smaller touches like these block letters too. The dresser gives us storage, as do these navy-lined baskets, perfect for holding extra weekend stuff and guest supplies as well. And I just love how those paintings pick up on all of our colors and bring a little of that lakeside beauty inside too. You remember the master bedroom was in desperate need of a headboard, and we found this king-size one with plenty of potential. The framing and the shelves were in great shape, and since the backing was just a thin particle board, well, we didn't mind painting it out. Alternating with the Nouveau copper and the bay leaf color turned that old headboard into a work of art, and with the double-sized bed, that king-sized headboard now serves as bedside tables too. And that's a good thing, because we'll be using the one that was there in the main room in just a bit. That dated kitchen chair is gone, replaced with this wonderful rustic red one. For the bedding, we found the perfect quilt-style spread with matching shams. It's easy to wash and goes perfectly with our paint colors. And talk about paintings, I love these two small ones. We just attached them to the headboard with Velcro. They really pick up on the color scheme. And the twine hung pictures on the wall, they pick up on all our colors too. Continue with that comfortable, casual vibe we were going for, and really reflect the lovely lakeside surroundings just outside the window.
Huh? I love it. It makes me so happy. It really is a statement when you come in the front door and you see their name. Very rustic, very in keeping with the theme of this lakeside experience. It's got all of our colors and it's their name. Can't go wrong. You remember one of our big objectives was making more seating in this space, and this is that old stool. You remember it was broken, and
A discriminating shopper may have just passed it by. What with the old paint and the broken rung, but bargain hunter that I am, I knew with some wood glue, wire, and twine we could conceal it. We wrapped up all the rungs in twine to match, gave the seat a few coats of our bay leaf green, and there you go.
you remember it being the nightside table in that bedroom. It makes a perfect occasional table right here, and it certainly makes a great seat, especially if you've got a guitar, which often happens out here. There weren't too many things in the camp that we had to keep, but this was one of them. This was Charlotte's grandmother's rocking chair, and really all we did was use our green fabric, cover it, and it also is removable, so you can take it off, wash it, scrub it, flip it if there's an incident during the weekend, and we just popped this little pillow there for color, and you can still keep on rocking. And I gotta tell you, when you're working on a budget, you gotta grab those deals when you can get them. We've really lucked out with this folding chair. $3, hello. Gone are those big sofas, but one of the things the fellas said is they have to be comfortable. Always when you're buying something, no matter how great the deal, if it doesn't feel good, you don't bother buying it. But this was an unbelievable steal. We got the love seat and the sofa for $200, which I think is pretty great. And the cushions were in fantastic condition. We did reupholster them, but with fabric that we can remove and wash, and that's pretty great. Now, if you remember that old sofa, a lot of times people would end up, let's say crashing and taking it easy. And I just want to tell you that these are actually pillows, just really inexpensive pillows, and I made pillowcases in the upholstery fabric. So if somebody stayed overnight, you could just slip a regular pillowcase over this. It would fit perfectly, and it also makes those wooden arms super comfortable. Before you start any makeover project, check what you've got already. A lot of people say go shopping in your closet. Well, we went shopping in the garage, if you can believe it, for these planters. They are teak wood. Oh my goodness, that is great wood, but it was a long time ago they were used as planters, and then it just got hard to keep plants, so they put them in the garage. But I'll tell you what, the wood is still in fantastic condition, and I thought to myself they would make perfect storage and great seating. So I had Steve get to work, and this is what we came up with. He treated the teak wood, and this is actually what's in the bottom. It's actually already a grill, and so we brought that up to make it a seat, and perfect for storage. Then you put the top back on. What a great table, or put a pillow out here, and you got a great seat. I love it, and it was free.
Our table runner looks lovely on the original leaf table, and we gave the kitchen area a little lift as well. We replaced that cardboard kindling and paper box with a rugged tin tub that'll hold it all nicely and match with our decor. And with some simple sewing, we made a straight valance out of our splashy coordinating cotton fabric to cover that light over the counter and cover up the open spaces in the cupboards below.
And our good old pal, the mason jar, is back. You know how I love them, but they're actually the perfect way to store snacks in any kind of weather. They're really tight, and you can also mark on the date when you brought them out here. But you can imagine anybody coming out and saying, oh, I'd love to have some jelly beans. Oh, I'd love to have barbecue peanuts, and everything's right here. And then you know you can just grab this, throw it in the dishwasher. Any extras you can use for drinking. It's very durable glass, and it's a wonderful thing. Those goldfish are, listen, is it wrong that I'm excited that the goldfish match the decor? It probably is, right? Yeah. Nibbly snacks are great, but also don't forget, if you've got a campfire like they do here, marshmallows rock.
Speaking of campfires, our Lakeside Stay survey asked which of the following 9 East Coast artists would you most like to have lead your campfire sing-along? Anne Murray, Matt Anderson, Rose Cousins, Alan Doyle, Ennis, Jimmy Rankin, Dean Brody, David Miles, or Amelia Curran? Well, no surprise, all of them got plenty of votes. But when we tallied up the totals, it was Alan Doyle who took top spot, followed ever so closely by Dean Brody in second. Well, let's say we play a little of both of them, because It's Friday is a perfect celebratory soundtrack for doling out the free stuff. Up for grabs from our Lakeside Stay Steal of an Art collection, this original painting of Little Harbor in Lunenburg County by George Swanberg. All you need to do to win it is tell us what lakeside creature jumped out of frame earlier in the show. Once you know it, hit the website at cnbc.com, click on the TV Free Stuff button, and submit your answer. Good luck to ya, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to CNBC. I'd like to declare our lakeside space officially spruced. The main room has been opened up with a new sofa and love seat with more room for people and storage underneath. More storage and style in the boys' room too, and that master is worthy of the title. Fresh and durable linens and fabrics, our lovely lake-inspired artwork, and personalized projects help complete the transformation. We lucked out that they had that mirror for the boys' room, plus we used a coffee table from their basement and that end table from the bedroom in the main room. It matched the sofa and love seat perfectly, and it's a good thing they were free because we spent all of our $1,000 and just a smidge more like this. $508 on furniture, $126 on fabrics, linens and pillows, $207, decorative accessories totaled $163, paint and craft supplies just $18. Those kitchen treats in the jars were a gift from me, and my labor was free for a grand total of $1,022. We're tapped out of money and almost out of time. Just enough left to award our Lakeside-inspired prize pack from Ocean View Garden Center to one lucky Lakeside Stay survey taker. After a random draw from among everyone who replied on the site and our Facebook page too, we're pleased to announce Miranda Godfrey of Fredericton, New Brunswick has won our Lakeside Stay survey prize. Thanks to everyone who took the time to post their say on our survey. Now you can watch this show and all the other great Community One programming anytime you want. Simply click the on-demand button on your Bell Alliant Fiber Op TV remote and follow the steps on your screen. As a member of the Community One team, I sure am proud of the Bell Alliant Backpacks for Kids program. Since 2003, Bell Alliant has been purchasing backpacks, and together with employees, pioneers, customers, and partners, they've filled them full of school supplies for elementary school-aged children in need. This year, the goal is 10,000 more backpacks in Atlantic Canada, and we sure could use your help. Just visit BellAlliantBackpacksForKids.ca and then start filling up the backpack. Rest assured, 100% of your contribution goes directly towards school supplies, so you can help kids start right and finish strong. And be sure to visit cnbc.com for our Lakeside Stay resource guide, plenty of project details and program extras too. And while you're there, join the party. We're celebrating 5 years online and doling out free stuff every day in July. Thanks to our great friends at CAA Atlantic, we've got weekly draws for annual CAA memberships and a grand prize draw with your choice of one of 4 Atlantic Canadian stellar stays. Every day in July, there'll be a new East Coast personality sending us a birthday high five and helping you win awesome free stuff. So visit cnbc.com and get in on the winning today. Thanks so much for sharing in our Lakeside Stay. I'm Stephanie Beaumont. We'll see you next time on CNBC.
I love this pillow.